Welcome to Heroic Ties. I'm Jeff with the Halcyon Masters, and we're proud to bring you the story of Baptiste. Baptiste brings a new mechanic to the game of Vainglory in the form of fear, and you'll get a taste of that horror in this hero's lore. A police officer patrolled the streets of Crescent City on the shortest night of the year. The young officer felt impervious to harm, mounted on a horse, dressed in a crisp uniform, and armed with a glowing blue magic sword. This sword was one of the few magical items that was permitted under the Queen's rule. The locals, hearing the officer's horse and whistle, would melt into the alleyways out of fear. The deeper the officer rode into the island territory, the stronger the scent of old wood, coffee, and fried meat grew. Near the end of his patrol, he heard singing from a town square. Dressed in bright holiday outfits, the islanders sang and danced to a battery of drums. At the center of the crowd danced a widow and well-known troublemaker who had been arrested several dozen times or more. The law allowed the locals to celebrate their holiday within reason. The officer had a feeling something different was going on in the square. A feeling of anxiety overcame him.
Are you frightened?
The officer looked back. The woman thrust both hands into a boiling pot of water. Yet she did not yell in pain, but instead pulled out fistfuls of rice and black-eyed peas. Crazy people, thought the officer.
Their queen feeds her people. Your queen feeds no one.
The voice was referring to the cruelty of the Storm Queen. The officer, now completely freaked out, drew his sword and stepped into the square. He called out for order and instructed everyone to go home.
We are home. It is you who has found himself too far from home.
The ground at the base of the statue rumbled and broke apart. Monstrous hands clawed their way out of the ground, and arms and skulls of horrifying shades emerged. The officer was shocked as everyone in the kingdom knew the Storm Queen had outlawed magic. This is unlawful. You should be arrested for the unlawful use of magic and the disturbance of the peace.
Peace, you say? We are uninterested in peace.
The officer was horrified at the figure standing in front of him, and all he was able to say is, "What are you?"
A story. A story made real by 1,000 tellings.
The officer turned and tried to run, however pain struck him hard and he was slowed as if hit by some bad mojo. Please, I...
Do not wish to die? Why ever not? Life is a bore. It is death that all awaits with delicious fear. Death, the great drama, the tragedy, the mystery, the show. Life is pain. Death is relief.
The officer tried to crawl away, but he found he could not move. The islanders now surrounded him, chanting in low tones.
Your soul is pinned down, and your body is stuck to it. Alas, no more struggling now. It is not so terrible to belong to me. Together we will end the reign of the queens, mon cher.
Here is an important part of the story. Baptiste is very careful in his words. He says queens, plural. He is not only interested in ending the reign of the Storm Queen, but the future reign of Celeste as well. Our story ends with the swing of Baptiste's scathe, which delivered exactly what Baptiste had promised the officer.
Relief.
Thanks for watching this episode of Heroic Ties. If you enjoyed the video, all I ask is that you press the like and the subscribe button. Every sub helps us unlock the content required to bring you these great stories. Plus, you'll be the first to know when we release our next video. Until next time, we will see you on the Halcyon Fold.